they're scanning your face at airports now. Here's what's really happening. If you travel internationally anytime in the next few years, there's a very high chance something will happen to you at the airport that you might not fully understand. You'll walk up to immigration, hand over your passport, look into a camera, and without anyone really explaining it clearly, your face, your fingerprints, and your identity will be digitally captured and stored. No warning, no headline moment, just part of the new normal. And here's the part most travelers don't realize. This is no longer just border control. This is the beginning of a global identity tracking system. Now, before we go further, let's break down something simple. What is biometric data? Because this one concept is changing how travel works across the entire world. Biometric data is basically your unique physical identity. Not your name, not your passport number, not your ticket, but your body itself, your face structure, your fingerprints, sometimes even your eyes. And unlike documents, you can't lose it. You can't forget it. You can't replace it. That's exactly why governments are switching to it. Because, in their words, it's more secure. But what does that actually mean for you? Let's start with what's happening right now in Europe. Across 29 countries, a major new border system is rolling out. It's called the Entry-Exit System, or EES. And this system is quietly replacing something travelers have seen for decades: passport stamps. Yes, those little stamps in your passport, they're disappearing. Instead, the first time you enter these countries, something new happens. You are asked to provide your fingerprint scans and a facial image taken right at the border. That data is stored in a centralized system. And from that moment on, every time you enter or leave, you're verified digitally. No stamp, no manual check, just instant identity confirmation. Sounds efficient, right? But here's where things get more intense. This system doesn't just remember you. It tracks your movement, specifically how long you stay in the country. For example, if you're a tourist visiting Europe, there's a rule most people don't even realize exists. You can only stay 90 days within any 180-day period in the Schengen area. Before, tracking that was messy and manual. Now, it's automatic. The system knows exactly when you entered, it knows exactly when you left, and it calculates your total stay without you ever thinking about it. And if you overstay, you don't argue with a border officer anymore. You're flagged in a database. That can affect future travel approvals, visa applications, and entry decisions. But Europe is just one part of a much bigger global shift, because biometric travel systems are spreading fast. Let's talk about the United States. When you enter the US from many international destinations, you'll often be photographed at immigration. Your fingerprints may already be on file if you applied for a visa, and that data is checked against security databases in real time. Even returning travelers are increasingly identified through facial recognition systems at airports. Now, Canada. Canada collects biometric data for many visa applicants. That means fingerprints and photos are taken before you're even approved to travel. It's stored and used for identity verification and immigration screening. And the United Kingdom, it's moving rapidly toward fully digital border processing, electronic travel authorizations, facial recognition gates, automated identity checks. The goal is simple: reduce manual processing and increase automated verification. Now here's where things get interesting, because this is not just one country doing this. This is a global pattern. Europe, North America, Asia, the Middle East, different systems, same direction. A shift away from documents and toward identity-based travel control. So why is this happening so fast? Governments give three main reasons. First, security. Biometrics make it harder for people to use fake passports or stolen identities. Second, speed. Once you're in the system, future border crossings can take seconds. And third, enforcement. Overstays, visa limits, and entry rules become much easier to track. But here's what most travelers never think about. Every time you enter one of these systems, you are being added to a long-term identity record. Not just a one-time scan, but a recurring verification profile. Your face becomes your travel ID. Your fingerprints become your backup key. And this is where the shift becomes real. Because in the past, travel was about documents. Now it's about data, and that data doesn't expire when your trip ends. So picture this. You land in a country, You look into a camera, you scan your fingerprints, you pass through in seconds. Everything feels smooth, almost invisible. But behind the scenes, a system now knows exactly who you are, where you entered, when you left, and how long you stayed. And here's the final question most people never ask. If every country starts using this system, what happens when all that data connects? Right now, it's still separated by region and government, but the direction is clear. More automation, more digital tracking, more biometric verification. So the next time you travel and step up to immigration and the camera turns toward your face, remember this. You're not just showing your passport anymore. You're entering a system that recognizes you instantly and remembers you long after you leave.